the year. Who's the ideal third guy? If Purdy and Lance are 1-2 or 2-1, who's the ideal three? Todd Labor says, well, who does Jake Haener remind you of? I've never heard of him. He kind of reminds me of Brock Purdy a little bit.
Yeah. Brock Purdy. No, exactly. Brock Purdy. Yeah. Jake Haener. I mean, okay. I don't know if he's asking who your ideal number three is as far as a veteran, because they're going to bring in a veteran. I think somebody like Bridgewater. I think he made $6 million last year. I think that would fit within their budget. Maybe they get somebody,
Andy Dalton.
Yeah. Maybe they get somebody for even cheaper that's less known. But I think you do need to just have a vet in there, just contingency kind of thing. As far as the draft goes, mid-round guy, yeah, I just finished writing a piece, a big board for the 49ers draft is going to come out on The Athletic. Jake Haener was on it for me. I mean, the guy's tough as hell. There was a game against UCLA at the Rose Bowl a couple years back where he wasn't even able to walk. He was walking around like Kirk Gibson was rounding the bases, and it was just taking hit after hit. I think he hurt his adductor or his abdominal muscle or something, but he led them down the field and they scored, and Fresno State beat UCLA in the Rose Bowl. And to me, Brock Purdy played hurt this year. I mean, he played with a torn UCL. Pretty tough if you ask me to do that against Philadelphia, but he played with an oblique against Seattle, and that was a feat. So Shanahan loves tough quarterbacks. He picked CJ Beathard back in 2017. I think more in part to the fact that he played with a torn adductor muscle throughout the final 5 or 6 games at Iowa, than because Beathard was a great quarterback at Iowa. He thought he could program him into a great quarterback, but I think the main selling point for Shanahan was how tough he was. And
he mentioned it a lot.
Haener. Yeah, you could say that about Haener. You could say it about Jimmy Garoppolo too. I mean, look what Garoppolo played through in 2021: the torn thumb ligament, the torn shoulder capsules. But at a certain point, that becomes a little bit alarming, where Shanahan's biggest trait is for quarterbacks is these guys have to be tough. At some point you want to stop exposing them to getting the crap beaten out of them so often. So toughness doesn't need to be that high up on the list, right? So we could talk about quarterbacks all day. To me, the biggest priority of this 49ers offseason is to, they have invested in the line. It's gotten better, but you saw it on display in the Super Bowl. The 2 best O-lines in football were in the Super Bowl. And in my opinion, that was no accident.
Yeah. I mean, and people saying, oh, they need a blue chip tackle. And Wiley blocked Reddick pretty well. I mean, Andrew Wiley gave up 9 sacks in the regular season, and Big Zeus Brown did not have a huge year, and yet he had a lot of success in the Super Bowl.